Welcome to Protagonist Pub. My name is Tammy, and this is where characters gather. Today it is my April 2023 book haul. It was a much smaller book haul this month, and I am good with that. In fact, of the 6 physical books I purchased this month, my husband actually purchased 3 of the 6, which is amazing seeing as he isn't a reader. But he bought the 3. He bought them for me, obviously, but he bought the 3. So we will save those for last. First up, my digital purchases for the month on Kindle. First up would be Moth Catcher by Anne Cleves. It is the 9th Fair Stanhope, I believe. It was on sale. Couldn't pass it up. Sitting there waiting for me when I get to it. And then I purchased Potiphar's Wife by Misa Andrews, which I linked in my recent What I Read Last Week video, which I will link down below. I love that book. It was 5 stars. It's biblical fiction. Don't be afraid of biblical fiction. It is probably not what you think it is. It certainly wasn't what I thought it was. So I have no trouble recommending everybody read biblical fiction. So the first 3 physical books for the month were finds at the Friends of the Library sale this week. I picked up, first up, The Bookwoman of Troublesome Creek by Kim Michelle Richardson. I don't know a lot about this book. I know everyone raves about it. I know there's a follow-up sequel. I know that it takes place in, I want to say, the Great Depression. Yep, 1930s. And it's about the blue-skinned people or woman of Kentucky. So it's interesting. It has potential. I don't know when I get to it, but I have it. It's waiting for me. It's not especially thick. So it wouldn't be a long read for me, but it's not in May. I know that for sure. It won't be in May. Next up is, remember in the beginning of the year, Alan over at the Library of Alexandria, who I will link down below, was talking about his anticipated read-alongs on his Discord, which I will also link down below. And the second half was the Risen Kingdom series. I remember seeing the cover of one of the books. It sounded kind of interesting, but it wasn't high on my list. So imagine my surprise when Saturday I'm in the Friends of the Library Books, shop, and the first 2 books of the series are there. Everything but book 3. Not only were they were there in hardback. So, first book is The Alchemy of Masks and Mirrors. It has a gorgeous cover. I probably would have picked this up even if Alan's video wasn't, trying to nudge me in the back of my head when I was in the store. So it looks intriguing. It sounds intriguing. I will read you the inside cover, or at least the top blurb of the inside cover. A delightful and engrossing fantasy debut featuring a brilliant heroine and her singular guardian, a royal musketeer. I'll read you the first paragraph. In a world of soaring continents and bottomless skies, where a burgeoning new science lifts skyships into the cloud-strewn heights, and ancient blood-borne sorceries cling to fading glory, Princess Isabel de Zephyrs is about to be married to a man she has barely heard of, the second son of a dying king and an empire collapsing into civil war. It sounds very intriguing. I don't know that I'll get to it in time to read along with Alan and friends. I know they read this one in March? Nope, they read this one in April. And the second book in the series is the May read-along book, and that is A Labyrinth of Science and Sorcery. And it too has a very interesting cover. And I'll read you the first 2 paragraphs this time because they're short. Isabel de Zephyrs has her wits, her newfound magic, and her headstrong determination to outwit her rivals in court. Jean-Claude has his sword, his loyalty, and his experience as the king's musketeer to outfight anyone on the streets. Again, a good swashbuckling story that just has a beautiful cover. Book 3 was not there. If I like book 1 and book 2, I will pick up book 3, or I will continue to look for it when I wander into the bookstore at the library. I know it's out, so if I like book 1 and 2, I will obviously pick it up because I'll need to know how it ends. Now, for the books my husband brought. First one he bought, these 2 go together, so I'm going to talk about them at the same time. Are books 2 and 3 in the Dune saga. They are anniversary editions. So the first one is Dune Messiah. Again, gorgeous cover, sprayed edges. Book 3 is, sorry, I got to fix the cover, Children of Dune. Again, beautiful cover, sprayed edges. I'm looking forward to reading them. I have not read them. I like that they match my anniversary copy of Dune, which is on my shelf. However, what I don't like, and this is just a general gripe at publishers, is that Dune Messiah is, in this edition, 267 pages. And Children of Dune is, in this edition, 475 pages. And in the anniversary edition of Dune, it was 600 pages. All 3 books cost the same. Now, I'm sorry, but 257 pages does not cost the same to produce and distribute as the much heftier books. This book should not be selling for $45. I generally don't have a problem with price points on books. I really, really don't. But this one is glaring. $45.99. When it comes out, it obviously goes down a little bit as, it releases, but it was a money grab, and I don't regret it, but at the same time, I mean, just looking at that, you can see the spine differential there. I don't regret buying the books. I don't regret that my husband bought them. I like that they match the first book, but still. Ugh. All right, last book for the month. I don't know how this one came about. What were we watching? We were watching a YouTube video, or it was mentioned on something. It was The Count of Monte Cristo. It got mentioned somewhere. I'm not sure where. And I said, I've never read it. And that's the truth. I have never read The Count of Monte Cristo. It wasn't anywhere on any of my literature classes. And my husband's like, but I loved that book. Which is saying a lot, because he is not a reader. He does not pick up books for pleasure. He just does not read. But he bought me a copy of The Count of Monte Cristo. He didn't just buy me a copy of The Count of Monte Cristo. He bought me a leather-bound copy of The Count of Monte Cristo, and it's gorgeous. It's got a nice, beautiful ship on the back. It's got the gilt edges. I've just taken the book out of the plastic, so it's shipped without damage. There are no illustrations in this book. It is just wordy. And the print is tiny. The print is tiny. This is going to take me a while to read. I generally read classics much slower than I read other books. So I won't be plowing through this anytime soon. And this book is 1,065 pages. I have other big, thick books I need to get through first this year. But I will work on this one eventually this year. I am pleased my husband spoils me so much with books, and this was a very pleasant surprise, and it looks beautiful on my shelf, and who doesn't love a good leather-bound book? So, thank you, love of my life. Those are the books I bought this month. It was a much smaller haul, but I'm okay with that. I will have a big unhaul, I believe, in the second quarter of 2023. I need to make some room on my shelves. I need to get rid of books I know I'm not going to finish or authors I don't like. And to make room for authors I really do love. So we will see if any of these end up on that list. I know the Dune books won't for sure. Did you get any exciting books in April? If so, comment down below and share. I hope you have a wonderful May. I will see you later. And thank you for joining me here at the Protagonist Pub.